What's up, everybody? Uh, saw Terry B popped in here when I first posted the stream. Well, let's see if I can move the chat so it's actually on the screen now. That's locked. Let's see if it moves the wrong thing. Of course it will. There. There we go. All right. Now I'm ready. Ready to say what's up to everybody. Oh, speaking of the beer thing, so I saw he's in here, but Black Ball brought me a 6-pack from. Did you put this on manual focus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. From Blood Brothers Brewing in Toronto. So I've got 6 different beers. This is the first one I'm having. It's their Mighty Eagle, so it's like a classic American-style lager. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Definitely a classic American-style lager. So it's like if you made a Budweiser but made it taste good. I posted this earlier. Let's see how we... Yeah, Yinzer House brought me from Grist Brewing, which I've been to in Pittsburgh, this awesome hazy IPA, a 4-pack of those, and I had one when I was setting up the stream. So, yeah, those were awesome, too. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'm always down for some good beer that I can't get here. So, what's up, Randy? Dimitri, this is America. I don't watch hockey. Well, actually, a lot of you were talking about hockey who are from America when we were riding last weekend, but I don't watch hockey, so I wouldn't even have known it was on. What's up, Blackball? Jay Dandy? Gary just got back from a ride. Min Hang, what's up? Cycling Brian, Pudgy, Chris FYB, who we also got a ride with this weekend. Ronald, I saw your comment earlier about if I get to Boston. If I do get back to Boston this year, it'll be when I'm working again. I'm going to try and ride. I'm going to drive and bring my bike this time, but it'll probably won't be in July. It'll probably be closer to sometime in mid-spring. But it's always an option to get back out there, though, because I have one of my best friends out there. So Large and Eddie, Hog Dog. Let's see, Fat Albert, Raymond. Hey John, finally made it to a live chat. Welcome, Madison. What's up? Logan's Run. Shane said they're already 4 beers deep. Nice. Kaojing. Pronounce that right? Kaojing. Yeah. Oh, my plants? Yeah, I can't wait till plants are growing again. That video now is, 2 years old at the beginning of this stream, I believe? Does it tell you it's streaming at 144p? What do you got, Dave? Are we doing better than that? That's Rick's end. I think Rick always... That's just Philly. You guys just don't have infrastructure there. Put all that effort into making bells and shit. And they're broke. Isn't that the Liberty Bell's in Philly, right? Yeah.
And they're broke.
Broke ass bells in Philly. Slow ass Wi-Fi. Yeah, we did miss you, Rick. Because I could have made jokes like this in person. Edmund. What?
Nah, I got 4K.
Oh, okay. Dave says we're in 4K, so. Farley, what's up? Yeah, so that was the first thing I wanted to say is it was awesome to meet so many of you, Blackball in person for the first time, because when we started doing this and we did the first channel meetup, the border was still closed, so Blackball wouldn't have been able to come down if he wanted to. So it was so awesome to meet him and a bunch of other people, some more local. At the Otis-Roubaix on Sunday, there was a bunch of people who came up and said hi. There were people from Grand Rapids, Michigan, all over the Cleveland area. I heard Bay Village, Chardon, Chagrin Falls. So everybody who came up and said what's up, I appreciate it. In the morning of the Otis-Roubaix, I was probably a little less talkative as I was really tired, but from Saturday, and we didn't even hang out that late or overdo it. I was just, I don't know. I think it was a buzz from the energy of meeting everyone and hanging out, and then a little bit from the beer and a little bit from the other stuff people passed my way. So, you know. The one thing I did want to say, and I posted it in the Discord, right when we were leaving from Dirty River on Saturday for the group ride, someone showed up on a red Trek, and I didn't know if they were on the other side of the group, and I thought they might have just been showing up to see if the bike shop was open, but they rode with us the whole time, and I never made it over to say what's up. And then when I saw them at Madcap and never made it over because I was in a conversation, I ended up feeling really bad about that. So I hate, like, I'm not the most outgoing person, so I know what it feels like to be in a group and I'm on the outside and I'm uncomfortable. So I never want to make anyone feel like that who shows up to something that I plan. So I'm really sorry if you're in here in the chat. I'm sorry I didn't make it over. I should have made an effort to introduce myself and all that. But yeah, we're not cliquey. It's not a closed group. We try to make everyone feel welcome, whether we met or not. We're all a bunch of oddballs anyways, and could be a little weird. That's why we all just connect around bicycles. So anyways, apologies to Red Trek Guy, or if we have met and I didn't remember meeting you, I'm even more sorry. So, but it goes like that sometimes, and I'm not happy about it when it does happen, because like I said, I know what that feels like, so I never want anyone else in our circles to have to feel like that. So, and if I missed anyone else, if I didn't recognize you at Otis-Roubaix or something like that, I'm sorry. But, and again, this isn't even a YouTube. I mean, Saturday was a channel meetup, but just even in life, sometimes I meet people and I don't always remember. A big part of it is the photography career. I just see so many faces all the time. I sometimes just forget who people are. The other part is I'm an idiot and I drink too much. Anyways, so just wanted to get that out because it does bother me, because I just feel like it was a mistake on my part. So, Kyle just said Kyle like California, Jing like Jingle Bells. So, just to play on your actual name. Got it. Hey, what's up, Rock? How you doing? Less Canadians, the better. Oh, yeah, Chris, you knew you had to leave the studio or Sunday would have been rough. Yeah, because it would have been so easy to sit there and drink. I had one more beer I had two more beers, but with Otis and Brad. Brad was smart. He sipped a beer, and me and Otis had a couple more beers, but yeah. Rick, don't try to deflect from the Philly jokes. Oh, hey, what's up, Glenn? Yeah, we got to hang out with Glenn this weekend again, too. So, you said I was fine on Sunday morning. Good. Well, we've met before and chatted, though, before. So, I could be awkward when someone comes up and is like, oh, I like your channel. And I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? Like, oh, thanks. What's your name? Like, normal things. Say normal things. So, we're all missing your pink tires. And I rode with Glenn a lot Glenn and Chris at the Otis-Roubaix, which, for those of you who don't know, was a hill climb challenge in Akron, like hitting all of Akron's hills, winding around. If you're familiar with the Tour of Flanders, which is this Sunday, it's kind of based on that concept, because there's just kind of one. Akron has more than that, but in Flanders, they're kind of climbing the same hill, just in different roads over and over again. And so we kind of did that, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, rode a lot with Glenn and Chris FYB, and didn't really ride with Blackball on Sunday because he's so fast. he was way up there. So, but on Saturday night we all hung out because that was just a social no drop ride. So, but yeah, anyone who didn't make it out, well, I'll post again. Like, we use the Discord to share stuff. I was saying, I liked the idea of piggybacking off the Otis-Roubaix, so people who wanted to travel had more of a reason than just, a social ride, and if you wanted to come in for the weekend. I was saying the one thing in the Discord I think we'll do is something like we did on Saturday, like a Kent ride, because they closed down the road where all the restaurants and bars are in Kent, so you could walk into any one of them, get food and drinks, so it's easy to have a bigger group that way. You don't have to worry about how many people show up, and everyone could get the food they want. So I think we'll do like a Friday night one like that. Again, it might not be something we're traveling for, but there are cool mountain bike trails around here, so people could also plan side meetups and stuff like that. We've done that before, where we've all gone out to Hampton Hills or something at the same time. But again, I'll post it in the Discord, and then when I travel alone and I have time to ride, I post it. That's how I rode with Chris FYB and Yinzer House when I was in Pittsburgh. It was a weekday and like kind of short notice, but they were up for riding, so might be more stuff like that where we could meet up. And again, use the Discord to plan your own meetups. People have done that, so so many people have connected already that didn't know they lived in the same town and ridden together and stuff like that, like Chris and Yinzer. So yeah. What's up? Another Chris. Who we are? I didn't ride with Chris on Sunday, but got to hang out at the after party. So, yeah, Edmund just walked by, guys. I don't know why he didn't. He meowed at us and walked by, but I don't know where he went. He'll be back probably. He didn't sleep. He didn't sleep in my bed last night. I don't know where he was. It's like, where are you at, dude?
Getting too comfortable.
He came in the morning to wake me up still when he wanted his food. I'm like, I actually slept in an extra half hour. I'm like, you didn't spend the night in here. I'm not getting up at 7:30. Plus, yesterday was a long day. I started a photo shoot at 8 in the morning that ended at 5, and then what me and you shot from about 6 to 9 in here, and then I edited the photos, a lot of photos, till about 11. So yeah, I was not trying to get up super early. Yeah, it was cool that we all fell in into a similar group, Chris, because I was kind of riding off a little faster with my buddy Mikey, and then we stopped he had to use the restroom, and I wanted to take off layers over when we were in San Run Metro Park Treaty Line area. And then when you guys all rode up, we kind of like, yo-yoed a little bit, but then I was like, why would I ride this stuff alone? Like, I could ride out here anytime. So this is my hometown. So yeah, it was more fun to stick with the group. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, Edmund actually is hunting spiders. I could see him now. He's over there, like, kind of climbing up the wall and pulling up stuff. So, Pudgy with a camera question. Canon R8 versus Canon R6 version 2. So they have the same sensor, but if money, and so obviously they're very differently priced. If money was no object, the R6 version 2 for me, just because I like having those controls of the professional body. So the R6 version 2 Pudgy would be way more body style like your R7. The R8 is very stripped down. And for like riding my bike and stuff like that, I love having it because it's small and light and it's a great sensor. But when I've used it for professional gigs, it's very frustrating to not have the full controls and high resolution viewfinder and rear screen. Did you ever use the R8? Did you use that at Laughing with the Snow Angels, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Was it annoying?
Yes.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Full stop.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure you could get used to it, but getting rid of the one dial, having the 3 dials is...
Yeah, it's so much better.
But also having always shot with 3 dials in your one hand right there.
And then you also lose the joystick for autofocus.
And that's what I was going to say next. The ability to move that around without having to get in a menu and all that stuff was super annoying.
And it's lacking that extra button for...
To hit that to activate it, right?
Yeah, I modified it so it works like the same here or there, but it's not in the same position. So, yeah. It really depends on what you're doing. If you're doing fast events where you're trying to be on top of stuff, I find the R8 to be annoying. When I'm just riding my bike and having fun and on vacation, I love having the R8 because it's so much smaller. But
I would definitely, if money wasn't the option, I would buy based on the body.
Yeah.
And the feel of it.
That was the big decision because Pudgy bought the R7, which has like the body like the 5 and 6 series, but it's the crop sensor. I didn't want to have 2 different sensor sizes to deal with because then the lenses all aren't the same. So I felt like that would have been more frustrating, but it's hard to say. Christopher Webb said Edmund's sowing his royal oats. If Edmund was hunting spiders, wouldn't he be near my beard? He did. He's back in here now. He's hunting spiders in here now. Chris, you said you rode with 4 different groups on Sunday and made a bunch of new pals. Yeah, and I moved through groups too. I met some people when I like kind of rode off the front. Then after the beer stop, I waited up where I was talking to Garrett for a while. And then I caught back up and moved through some groups as well. Last year I did that way more because I started behind everybody and then just kind of moved through groups, which was kind of fun. But does the R7 seem to lack some controls? I didn't know that. I thought the R7's body was similar to the R5's, but
Well, he's saying the 5D.
Yeah, but the R5 is pretty much like the 5D with like one exception of that. There's a switch that I don't miss really once, but again, I'm 4 years deep on the R5 now, so the R5 is what's filming us right now, for the record, too. Shane B said your cat is named General. So, I thought of a cat name that if I got a second cat to keep Edmund comfortable would be the name, and now for the life of me I can't remember it, but it had the in it. We call our cats the anyways because Aaron's cat's the Bean, and so now we always say the Edmund. But who had the coolest bike? I really liked Chris FYB's buddy's bike, Bo, that Rodriguez. He had Campy on it. Did you check that out at all, Dave, when we were photographing him? It was the black one.
Oh, that was Yenser's buddy.
Nah. No, that was Chris FYB's buddy.
Was it?
Yeah. They drove out together.
Oh.
Him, Brian, and Bo. Brian or Ryan? Brian or Ryan? No, Ryan. Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. At the Otis-Roubaix, I didn't pay as much attention to bikes because you're out of breath climbing hills all the time. I feel like I missed a couple. Oh, yeah. Ronald asked for a good camera for a bike helmet. Always the latest GoPro, in my opinion. Unless you want to deal with 360 footage, I'd always go with the GoPros. I know some people like a couple of the other brands that have made decent cameras lately, but I don't know. Latest GoPro. Hey, what's up, Donald from Cincy? Handlebar, what is that, like a red shift you got? Handlebar suspension shock? I have a buddy who put one on and one on a seat post, and he loves it. I've never tried any of that stuff. Nathan Mace asked, what's up? I don't know why YouTube plays live stream so quiet. Like, everything is showing as, like, on the edge of peaking. So I actually don't know how to get YouTube to come through louder for live streams. I've never figured it out. So I have an audio interface sitting here that's right on the edge of peaking. And when I look at where my controls and my software are, it's right on the edge of peaking. So if I turn it up anymore, it would be distorting. And I know that. I've watched the streams back to check on them, and I'm turning the volume up twice to what I normally would when I watch regular YouTube videos. And I don't know if there's anyone in here, Dimitri or anyone, who might know what I'm missing, but like literally my audio interface is in the yellow, almost to the red. So oh, R7 is the same as the R8 regarding the body? I thought it was built tougher. Huh. I thought it had more of a I thought the R7 had more controls and it had the better build quality. Huh. If I had realized that, then it would have been hands down easy I wouldn't have even debated as much. I thought the R7 doesn't have a joystick, Pudgy? And 3 dials? Chairman meow. Yeah, he just meowed and ran out of the basement entirely, didn't he?
He was like somewhere over here.
Nah, Canyons aren't the coolest bike. Those are mail order bikes. Get your bikes from bike shops. I know there's a bunch of people in here who ride Canyons, but they don't do anything for local business, so I'm anti-Canyon. He was asking about coolest bike at the rides we did this weekend, but yeah. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Greeting from cloudy Hemet, California. Nice. Jay Dandy also thought the Rodriguez was one of the coolest bikes. So, yeah, Donald, I got someone sent me one of the budget 4K like GoPro knockoffs. It wasn't called that, but I felt like it was like, I can't remember. I made a video about it, but it was like 4 generations behind where GoPro is. But again, the price reflects it. You kind of get what you pay for. So. Oh, Chris, you said Brian and Bo. Yeah. So I think when he walked in, I thought he said Ryan. Then he corrected me, and now I already forgot. What's up, Paul R? Oh, that beer truck Pinion Omnium. Yeah. Oh, that's right, Glenn. I remember you telling me that Otis put his hand on your back up there on the steepest hill, or one of the steepest hills. We climbed up through Timber Top. Have you ever gone back in there? There's one climb out of there that is so brutal.
Like the village from the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, we came in the back way off of, what is that, Northampton. There's a back entrance to Timber Top down there in the bottom of that valley.
Is there?
Yeah. And there's also a gravel road we used to do in the Otis-Roubaix, and we do sometimes for fun. But Otis said with a group this big, there's gates and it's technically trespassing. Mm. But I think it's a service road they used to like probably build it. It's a really cool climb, but the concrete one's actually even harder. So.
Where was that brick road? I think he had like a clip from there.
Oh, what clip did I share? Because we climbed a lot of brick roads. Because Cadillac Hill's brick. Tony shared a clip of me climbing Cadillac Hill.
Maybe that was Cadillac. It didn't look like Cadillac. Although I guess things have kind of changed around it. But
yeah, from the...
Yeah, it was somebody else's of you, right?
Yeah, I think that was probably Tony's clip of Cadillac Hill. We did one over in Kenmore, which I call my hill because I found it and put it in a rat's ride. And then Otis added it to the Roubaix. And someone at the after party was saying how, like, that one brick hill, we just went up, went around a curve, and then just came right back down. That was soul crushing. I was like, that's my hill. So it's just the guts, but not the outside of the R7. Batch bikes? Huh. I'm not familiar with batch bikes. The makers of Huffy, I don't even know who owns Huffy's trademark anymore. So, peek up, peek down. Jay Dandy, I'm not sure if you meant Glenn. He was wearing a plaid shirt. He didn't ride on Saturday, though. Only on Sunday. Oh, Blackball. That guy did. I did see footage of the cargo beer bike being out there on the course. It was someone else's Instagram story. So, yeah. Yeah, Timber Top was brutal. Still out there drinking. Yeah, Maple was the one with the train bridge over it that me and Tony were saying we think is probably worse than Cadillac Hill. The only problem with the difference with Cadillac Hill is it's steep at the bottom. Maple is steep at the top. So Maple's really tough, but I think it's easier because I'm already 3/4 of the way up before it pitches to its highest gradient. Whereas Cadillac Hill, like you're on those rough cobblestones and it's already so steep, and it's just that balancing thing. If you lean forward too much at all, and my inclination is to stand up on steep hills, you spin out. Whereas on Maple, you could stand up and just barely pedal and still get up it if you have the easy enough gears. I was saying to whoever I was next to at that point that I can't believe I used to climb that on like my vintage Peugeot with like a 6-speed in the back and whatever gear that is, like a 46-28 or something probably. What is the interchain ring on those old road bikes? Or is it even just 52-48? It's like they're so big still, you know?
Yeah, somewhere in the 30s.
Nah, I don't think it's in the 30s.
No?
It's in the 40s, yeah.
I would put it, huh?
Here he is.
40, 42.
Say something. You're on air. You're leaving dead air, bud. Hey, what's up, Bradley? What's up, Walter Lippman? I like how Glenn described himself. Glenn is the old dude that wears blue plaid shirt, gray Cannondale topstone. Yeah, I only know Stetna from watching racing. Yeah, the gravel racings, but I've never followed his stuff personally. So I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against Pete Stetna, and he's sponsored by Canyon. And if someone wanted to sponsor me and give me free expensive bikes, I would probably take it as well. But well, I kind of do have someone who sponsors me and gives me really nice bikes, but they're steel. But one of mine is made in America, so you can't say that. Love it or leave it, baby. Oh, Raymond, the new Wahoo update is interesting. I haven't put it on yet because it's been raining here all day. But for those who don't know, Wahoo added to the bolts and what's the big one? Whatever, they only have two. They've added, well, the one that's interesting to me is the GoPro control. So it'll work as a GoPro remote. So if you've mounted your GoPro somewhere, which I never mounted anywhere because then you can't tell if you're turning it on or off. So you can control your GoPro. You can control any light that has like the Amp Plus connection. And you can control your music from your iPhones. I think it might work for Android too. I don't know. The video I watched, which was GP Llamas, he's an iPhone user. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Like I'm pretty into that update, especially like I said, I guess I do have some lights that would be able to be controlled, but I don't really care about that. I either turn my lights are mounted where I could reach them, but the GoPro thing for putting it on the seat post or something, being that I have multiple, would be awesome. Yeah, Jay Danny, I'm trying to think of. There were times where we were riding close to each other, but yeah. Jay Dandy's old. He forgets who he meets. Oh, Chris, did anyone start a GoFundMe to fix Otis's toilet yet? Yeah. So, did I tell you about this, Dave?
No, I was trying to figure out what that makes sense, but
so someone at Dirty River on Sunday morning destroyed the toilet and then just stuffed a bunch of toilet paper in there.
Nice.
They couldn't get it to go down. Otis was saying that like water and poop and stuff were coming up through the floor. It like destroyed the bathroom. Like the entire bathroom is like needs to be ripped out and redone, which they had redone it themselves when they moved in there. So when he came out to give his welcoming and rules speech, he was real fired up and real pissed off at first. And then he was like, I had to get that out. We're going to have a great day. Let's talk about the ride now. But yeah, and I'm sure, so they're closed on Sunday and Monday. Being back there is probably pretty frustrating because they probably do not have a bathroom. So a GoFundMe or something to chip in would be really nice for everyone who showed up at Otis-Roubaix. So. Blackball said, I didn't meet Glenn either. Did you ride a red truck? That's a classic callback right there. So. Now, Blackball, you would have been way too far ahead to meet him. So, and then at the after party, I think you might have missed him too because by the time I found out you were in the front of the brewery and brought you back, I think he might have been gone. Shane, and I understand not everybody has good bike shops, so I also want to make that caveat. I get it. I think Canyon is the thing that is extra annoying about Canyon, and I've held off on saying this, I think. Have I held off on talking about Canyon on the stream? Just because I have friends who ride Canyons. But I'll finally say it. And Francis Cade made a video with his local bike shop, and the owner is like, when something goes wrong with the Canyon, and they call him, they're like, take it to this shop, and this is what we'll pay to fix it. And so that dude's like, you don't tell me what I'm going to pay to fix a bike. I determine the rates that I pay to fix a bike. Canyon uses weird standards. They're like Cannondale a lot where they do stuff that is super annoying, proprietary stuff. So they try to dictate to bike shops what they're going to pay. So that guy actually will not work on Canyons, period. And there's a number of bike shops that are like that. They're like, hey, take it to the shop you bought it from. So, but again, all that aside, I do know from doing this stream and doing this YouTube channel that people live in places where their bike shop sucks. It's only oriented towards like full on like racer roadie style. They won't sell you anything for just like cruising a towpath or anything like that. So that is the caveat to that, where ordering, and I, not like I've never bought a bike online, but they've all been vintage bikes, usually American made. Just keep throwing that in there. I do think I have more U.S. made bikes than anyone else, but
Hey, you got a lot of Peugeots.
yeah, I do have French bikes too. But
It's a cool looking bike though. Canyons.
they're
good looking bikes.
They are good looking bikes, and I really some of their sponsored riders are some of my favorite. Like in the Women's World Tour, Cassia, I've been following her forever. So yeah, so if you have a choice, if you have a good local bike shop, I think it's worth supporting. I also understand the idea that there are some small brands that are really cool. Like my girlfriend Erin and then my good friend Aaron are really big fans of Crust because of who they are. But they also have taken those bikes to Dirty River and spent money on parts for them and had them built there and stuff like that. So you can also do that if you buy a bike online. Not all bike shops are into that, but a lot of them don't mind. So. Kyle Jing said, like Jingle Bells. Yeah, Kyle Jing said 5240. Now I'll remember it forever. I'll just have to think that before I say it out loud. Sounds about right for vintage roads bike, 5248. Because yeah, I know when you shift, once you're used to riding like a modern gravel bike or any modern 2x, because even I have a road group set on my gravel bike, and you ride one of your vintage bikes and you shift the front chainring, you're like, oh yeah, that's not like a huge, jump.
I don't know. Maybe mine's not as vintage as I think it is.
Yeah, or it could just be less. Well, what kind of road bike is it? It might not be as roadie oriented.
No, the Centurion.
Oh, the Centurion. Yeah, that's a full on. But someone could have changed the inner chain rings. It's not like I got a box of old chain rings here, so you could, as long as the BCD or whatever is the same. That's one of the things I might lack in knowledge when I'm building a bike and putting 2 chain or 3 chain rings together on like, the mountain bike stuff. I'm like, I hold up cranks and then I'm like, oh, these don't fit, and I have to go through that stuff that I've never quite figured out. I'm not familiar with alchemies. We might have to pull those up. Oh, Bradley. Yeah, I saw that Analog got a ton of snow up there. A bunch of people did. Chris coming down from Toronto got a bunch of snow. But even Cleveland got snow because some of the people came down from that way were talking about how there was snow on the ground. Oh, that's interesting, Donald. Anyone ever do bike trail harvesting? You made a sports drink from staghorn sumac, bourbon from bike trail corn, maple wine from maple syrup, medicine from plants along the way. I only I pick berries, and if there's like wild apple trees or anything like that. But no, I've never gone down that route. Oh, everyone's telling me the Rome, so I must be way behind on the other Wahoo. Oh.
Not that bad.
No? Oh, good.
Go flush me.
Oh, and that was interesting, too. Chris is telling... Oh, I don't think this would be TMI. But how he takes a break from drinking when he goes through his, a number of, events he likes to do. So... Because I said to him, I was like, oh, you weren't drinking at Madcap, and then he said he was also drinking a non-alcoholic beer at Magic City at the after party for the Otis-Roubaix. That's a good idea. I keep trying to tell myself I should do that leading up to Black Fork.
Very smart.
Yeah, well, it would be. But, I don't care about, Saturday and Sunday for me because I was just trying to kind of social ride both of them. But, with Black Fork coming up with May, if I took April off drinking, dropped a little bit of the belly, I would ride that ride much better. So... Just taking a break anyways is always a good thing. Just taking a month or whatever off like people do in January and all that stuff. Ronald asked how long I've been filming my rides. This channel as being like a channel with like a video every week has been going like this since 2020. I've filmed rides before that and made YouTube videos that show cycling before that, but yeah, at a constant like weekly basis to at least put out a ride video, and I don't film every ride. Yeah, since the beginning of 2020. So I bought the GoPro Hero 5 when I started dating Erin. So 2016 would be when I started filming rides, but I didn't do it regularly. Oh yeah, I do have part of that speech that'll be in the video, but I'm not putting the toilet stuff in there because Otis's speech at the beginning of the Otis-Roubaix. Oh, Large said the bathroom is fine. Huh. Good. Oh, that's what you were laughing at, the go flush me. For now. Oh, the red Trek reference. That was from Saturday night where there was a guy in a red Trek that we never made it over to. So it's combining two jokes, two references. That is exactly how the automotive industry works. Yes, but the automotive industry has dealers. So if you're a Ford dealer and Ford tells you what they'll pay the Ford dealer to fix, I mean, I'm sure people could have problems with that arrangement. But if you're Canyon, you were direct to consumer, and then you're telling a bike shop what you'll pay them, and I think that's totally different. And also, even if the automotive industry tells a local shop that's what they'll pay, the local shop has every right to say we're not going to do it. So that's the difference. Yeah, I mean direct to consumer versus brick and mortar for sure. And I mean, like, I feel like that with camera gear. It's like there's Dot up in Cleveland, but we don't have a local good camera store anymore. So it's like, for me, it would mean if I want to support a local shop, I have to drive 45 minutes two ways. So it's like, one of those things. I like to support shops, but like just yesterday, I decided I wanted a new polarized filter that was high transmission, and instead of driving up to Cleveland, I ordered it from B&H, and it'll be here in 2 days. So I get it. But what if your local bike shop is Eddie's? Everybody who lives near an Eddie's has another option that's better, because I know where Eddie's Market is. So you have better bike options everywhere where Eddie's is. So there's Marty's down the street from the original. There's Dirty River, which is within 5 miles of most of the Eddie's. So anybody have a seat collar sleeve for a Peugeot? No, mine's integrated. I don't. On both my Peugeots, there's no separate collar. It's part of the frame. It's brazed on. So, but yeah, it is a different size. French has a different standard for seat posts and stems.
Velo Orange.
Velo Orange, yeah. I would look at Velo Orange. You said Aaron rides a crust. What do I think of the direct-to-consumer boutique brands that aren't made in the USA? I can't. I like a lot of them. I really like Wild Bikes. I mean, they make USA bikes, but they have Taiwanese bikes. Sklar bikes, I think, are really cool. That and I think, well, I mean, Wild does do dealerships too, but I don't know if Sklar does. I don't think they do. Yeah, I mean, again, they're small businesses, and so I'm not opposed to it. I would say a lot of them. Some of them, how about this, aren't doing something so unique that you couldn't get something comparable at a local bike shop. I guess at that point you're deciding what small business you want to support. But, say as much as I love Sklar, like if you bought a Sklar and you live nowhere near there and it breaks and you don't have a cool local bike shop anymore because they went out of business and you don't fix bikes, what are you going to do? So I sometimes feel like a lot of times supporting your local bike shop is the most important thing. But I totally get that there are cool brands and you're connected with the, we go to Jeff Frain's ride at Hodag and he's awesome. And I think the wild bikes are really, really cool. So, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, REI is the same as ordering online. I mean, I know they hire local people that have to be in the store, but they don't have a good reputation for treating their retail workers. So for REI, if you have a local bike shop, I would go to that instead of REI. Same thing. REI is my last resort. I'm a whatever their member co-op is. So when we're out of town and there's nothing around, or a lot of times it's a Sunday and we have flats and we need tubes, I will go into an REI myself. I bought camping gear from REI, but when it comes to bike stuff, if you have the option to go to an actual local shop, I would say do that over an REI. But hey, what's up, Rob, in real life? Alchemy bikes are made in Golden, Colorado. Oh, nice. So that's what you were saying. They're not a Canyon. Yeah. Now, bike shops can't sell all the competing brands, and a lot of brands won't sell to a number of bike shops that are too close. So, and a lot of bike shop owners don't want to stock the same bikes as like someone who might be just up the street who got them first. So just to not try and take their business or just to try and do something unique. I know locally around here that has been a thing where a bunch of bike shops that like each other don't do that. They try not to compete if it's an option not to. So. Rick said the only trail harvesting he does is Arby's. That's expensive, trail harvesting. Arby's is like the most expensive fast food you can get.
Is it?
Arby's is expensive.
I haven't been to Arby's.
Yeah. Like, I look at like the price of like, they do still like their cheap roast beef, but if you look at any specialty sandwiches at Arby's, I'm like, I might as well go out to like a real restaurant. Which is usually my choice anyways, because I don't really eat much fast food. But
When they got rid of the 5 for 5, that was the end of my.
yeah, 5 roast beef for $5.
Right.
Yeah.
It watered it down to 4 for 5. Get out of here.
Oh,
with
did
it.
they 4 for 5, and they think like that's gonna
They
fly?
tried to pull a fast one on
Yeah,
everybody.
that doesn't even have a ring to it. 4 for 5. Was this the end of some Grateful Dead show? Horsey sauce. I do love me some horsey sauce though. That curly fries and horsey sauce that is a combo made in heaven. I'm not religious, so I don't mind the white sauce. That's a deep joke that would take so much explanation. But you guys could infer probably a little bit. Oh, Ron, you've been bike commuting for 4 years. I'm thinking I'm gonna have an interesting bike commuting video coming out. I know I've made a little bit of content like that, but I won't spoil it till I know for sure. What's up, Cassidy? I don't think I've ever got compared to Ronnie Romance before. But thanks. I take that as a compliment. I'm a fan too. I loved his last video. What a bummer that. Did you hear this? He had to close his bag factory because he was making all his bags in Connecticut. And he had a few key employees leave, and they ended up shutting it down. But his video about riding out west was very cool, that portion of it. But a huge bummer that, yeah, kind of lost that business. Tim marks his anniversaries by GoPro models. Yeah. I skipped the 12, though, so now I'm all off. Ultramassive douchebag, so yes. It's funny, Rick, that you don't dig them. Like, I know we've talked about this in the Discord, and I just wonder, and I don't mean this in a mean way. I just wonder if it's like a generational thing on like the humor. Like if it just doesn't connect like that. And like Pudgy, you're saying like he's actually a great guy, And I think same thing. If Rick was at Nutmeg and he met him, he would be like, "Oh, this dude's totally cool. He's just like totally chill and nice as could be in person." At Nutmeg, he's like taking out the trash, and he's rad as hell. He came over to Erin when she broke her ankle to make sure she was all right, and if there's anything he could do, got her the Wi-Fi so she could figure out her flights home. But yeah, I think I've gone 4 years in a row, and he's an absolute awesome person. But I get that like someone's online persona. Like I said, I would not be offended if someone said my videos aren't for them. Like everyone connects to different people. So, and I feel like that in general. I mean, there's people who I'm friends with in real life, and I would look at their social media and I can't stand it. So, I mean, that's just the way it goes. So, oh yeah, Akar. Oh man, I can't do that one tonight. The Pixel Connection. Yeah, I have a friend who gets all his gear from the Pixel Connection and is a big fan. I've never been up there. The other one I use is down in Columbus, which is Midwest Photo Exchange, and I like because they do a lot of analog stuff, and they're tied into the analog community a lot with the film photography podcast and Matt, who does his large format YouTube channel and all that stuff. But yeah, Matt Marash. But yeah, I've never been to the Pixel Connection. But again, Avon is a hike from here.
Yeah,
that's even farther than Dodd.
Right.
That's another, 20 minutes on top of that, maybe?
Give or take.
Yeah.
Is Campus still around?
Campus Camera, yeah. They're closer. They're in Kent. They stock only certain things. They're kind of interesting dudes. I made a video of riding out there, actually, to get stuff for the RZ67. And I'm going to make another video for the other channel heading out there because they said they would look at my Nikon F3 for free. Everybody else charges Dodd $600 just to look at a camera. Canon charges you, if you're not in their programs and it's not in warranty, money just to look at the cameras. They said they don't charge to see if they could repair a camera. So I'll be heading back out there. Probably be a bike video and a photography video. So
everybody wants to charge you whatever just to crack it open?
Yeah, just to look. $600 to look at it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris said he likes to sprinkle his purchase at his favorite shops. And I used to do more, hit more different bike shops. Like I'm pretty much solely Dirty River down here now. I always stop and Enjoy Machines if I'm in Cleveland. But Cleveland has a number of shops I really like. Beat Cycles. Otis, you actually used to work with that guy, too, who opened that. I can't remember his name. Golden Saddle. Not Golden Saddle. That's the one that used to be in California.
Let's see, what?
What's the other bike shop in Cleveland? They use like a saddles in their name. They had 2 locations, but they use like a kind of like a metal sticker like you would have on your bike as their logo. God, what is it? They're a cool shop. There's one more. Six City Cycles is a smaller but cool shop. Half bike shop, half plant shop. So I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on that. Maybe it's not Saddle at all. Rusty Saddle. How am I? Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles. They have shop cats too. So Rob said he likes to shop the garage sale area at REI. Rick said you've heard REI employees are treated well. So REI as a corporate company is very good to their corporate employees. So white collar employees at REI are treated very well. The retail employees might as well be the Home Depot. And this is from what I've read. It was a New York Times article. So yeah, because I was curious when I became a co-op member when they finally. That's not very close to us either, but it was when I got into bike camping and bought tents and stuff. So I went there and could save enough money on the co-op. And then every year when I get the whatever thing, I spend some money. But the kickback, it's not called that. Greg said the wrench you go to has a business model much like bike framers. Do you know what that means, Dave?
No idea.
No. Tom Flunker asked, "Have I ever owned a Puch?" I have. I had a. It was an Alpina. What Puch has kind of two, an Austro-Daimler Alpina. I think that's what it was. I sold it because. Whoa, sorry, bud. Scared. I moved this and it scared the heck out of Edmund. Let me see if I have a photo of it. It was a beautiful bike. I bought it for $100. Fixed it up. It was a down tube shifting road bike, and I'm like, I have this bike 4 other ways, and it's just going to sit here. So when a woman I was friends with that wanted to buy a bike for her boyfriend for Christmas, I sold it to her. But yeah, it was beautiful. See if I do have it on Flickr. I know I have it on Instagram, but searching Instagram is a nightmare. Oh yeah, here it is.
I think Greg, that was a misprint. I think he meant bike farmers.
Oh, bike farmers, not bike framers. Yeah, there was my Puch, my Puch, however they pronounce it. Austro-Daimler. I don't get the 2 brands. They have 2 like brands. So the head badge is Puch, but I think Austro-Daimler owns one owns the other. And it had a full Shimano 600 group set. Now looking back, I would have like harvested that group set, and I don't. That frame is really pretty though.
That's a good looking frame.
Yeah.
It's a good looking bike.
Yeah, it was a really good looking bike. Really good photograph too, huh? I mean, well, we're talking about it. Yeah, some cork Chinelli bar tape I put on there, some new arrow hoods, redid all the cables. I did not sell it with that front wheel. I kept that because that is the one Pudgy always used to try to buy off me, my nuke-proof hub, and it's radial laced. It's hard to tell in the photo, but if you look at the hub, it's just a radial laced wheel. I have it on it's actually on that Peugeot now, but yeah, I took that off before I sold it. That was too cool. It didn't come with the bike either. I bought that separately. Anywho, that's a good question. Garrett, hey, what's up? The video will be out tomorrow. It's already cut together. Like, I've just been so busy with work. It needs a voiceover, and like I said, last night we stopped working at 9, and I still edited photos till 11. So I've already had it cut together. I cut it on Sunday night, and I just have not had the time or energy to give it the voiceover it needs. So, yeah. See if we can catch up here. Yeah, Century Cycles is bought by Eddie's, so they had announced they were closing 1 or 2 too. So in a way, the Century Cycles thing, I guess, is good because it sounds like they were going to go out of business, and Eddie's is keeping bike shops open in those communities. I'm just not an Eddie's fan. They are very corporate in their attitude. They're right wingers, which not going to get into a political argument. I'm not. I choose not to support with my dollars when I don't have to. So, yeah. They're big on Trek with their cop bikes. No offense to Trek riders. Tried to apologize to Red Truck Guy. Now I just trashed his bike. Oh, Blackball. Yeah, that's the other thing. I have not put together any of the photos yet. So I have a big group shot of everyone from the Otis-Roubaix. But there were so many people that I had to do multiple shots, and I told everyone not to move, so I'm going to have Photoshop stitch it together. But I think it'll be good. I mean, I've looked at the photos. I just haven't edited them. Same with anyone who was in the studio before the bike ride. I took a bunch of cool portraits. I've looked at them. They look great, but I have not edited any of them. Blackwell Chris said I hate my own social media accounts. My buddy Joey, who I'm working with next week, he's a videographer, and he'll hire me to do the photography work on big shoots or assist him with the video stuff. He said a great line when we were traveling. He said, everyone thinks they're doing social media right. And I try and keep that in mind because there is no right or wrong. And so I try not to be too judgy, but as we all know, there's some people who are just super cringy. So you have that friend who's great in person, then you watch their stuff and you're like, I can't take it. I'm not a Bashguard fan either, Rick, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Ultra Romance, Ronnie Romance, so many names. So, what was the one he used to use? The fancy name he went by for a while, too. Blazing Saddles, yeah. Okay, that's where we're at. So, how I think about bikes, I can't remember what, because I'm behind on comments, what your comment is in reference to. Do you remember this, Dave? I would imagine they get a lot of people bailing on the quote after all the work that went into the assessment. I'm sure I said
Oh,
something.
the camera. I'm assuming that's about opening, cracking, charging just to look at a camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I understand. Yeah, you're right. And about the cameras, like,
Yeah, but
600 is a lot of money, though.
in that respect, I don't expect you to get in and start taking out tiny screws and everything, but you can at least look and say, "Oh, this is obvious." Or
I feel like there should, yeah, exactly. There should be like, the problem with Dodd and stuff is they're sending it out. Dodd's not doing any fixing, so they're charging you 600 because, like, for exactly what you're saying, how I think about bikes, they're going to, this other company is going to crack it open and their labor's already involved. That's the problem with not having just camera, and it's, again, this is just a problem in general. There's just not many people who are around anymore who could fix these things. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Everybody should. You take your car to the shop, and they're going to charge you what, $50 to put it on the lift and plug in their machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you're doing is plugging in that machine, but $50 versus $600.
Yeah, 600 is steep, I feel, but. Segun Brian, you said your favorite wide low crank set is not much more than a triple with a bash guard for a big ring. I could see a bash guard where Ronnie rides, though. All that rocky New England stuff. Maybe it makes a little more sense. But I'd rather just have the other. I'd just use it as a gear. Oh, yeah, that's right, Pudgy. You stopped at Joy Machines and got to meet Woody. Woody came out to the Otis-Roubaix, so.
Roger Hazelwood subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Roger Hazelwood. Hey, Stephanie. I have been to Marty's Bike Shop. Yeah. Marty's Bike Shop is like that used record store. You know what I mean? Where you got like, it's like you got a grumpy old man who may or may not show you what you want to see. Like,
see, I haven't been there for a while, and he keeps expanding. And they keep, they bought the barber shop that was in there. Now I think it's like the shop or whatever. But yeah, you go, like I said, I haven't been there in a while, but you used to go in, trying to fix your old bike. It's like, I need this, and they knew exactly what you needed. And they had 3 of them in a box.
That's the thing. And then sometimes they would get it out of that box from the back for you, and sometimes they wouldn't.
I got some real cheap Park Tool stuff that had 20 years of dust on it.
Yeah.
That kind of shop.
He's cool for that. And when I needed something to, I needed something for a campy freewheel, I called there thinking if anyone has it, these guys are going to have it. They actually didn't, but no one did, except Yonda did it somehow. So Yonda must have had it.
Wheel and wrench is good for that kind
Wheel
of
and wrench.
too.
Same. Wheel and wrench, that like knowledge from way back when I first started messing with vintage bikes. I remember I was redoing the hubs, the Huray, I think they're Huray hubs on the Motorbacon, and I took out the ball bearings and I needed new ones because they weren't like perfectly round anymore. And he was like, I can't remember the number now, but he's like 11 in each side. With it, you know what I mean? Knew that, just knew that. Like those old bike shops for that stuff are awesome.
Plus, Marty said really cool golden retrievers. So.
Oh, does he?
I don't know if anymore, but
out front when you drive by, he always has cool bikes sitting out front.
Cool bikes sitting out front, bunch of used stuff.
Oh, Ed Zachary, dividend. What is the word I was looking for from REI? Half bike shop, half Plant shop, aka Mary Jane. No, it's like seriously, it's like succulents and houseplants. It's interesting. I got my first Roadrunner bag from that bike shop, Six City Cycles. They had Roadrunner stuff before I saw it anywhere else. Before they had the partnership with Velo Orange. So yeah, the bags will live on, as Pudgy's saying. He said they did find they have a new partnership for U.S. made bags. It's just they won't be making them there in Connecticut anymore. Does anyone follow Miranda from REI? Never heard of it. Frick. Hey, what's up, mountain biker boy? Yeah, we were talking about the Century thing. I hopefully covered it while you were in here. So, like I said, it's better than those shops not being there, especially a Peninsula one, because that kind of so many people probably roll in there with stuff they need fixed just coming off the towpath, and they rent bikes for people, and I see people on those rental bikes all the time. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Chris, on the Pook. I don't know how you pronounce that, by the way. Poosh, Pook, whatever. And there is a relation to the Daimler that owned Chrysler for a while, but I can't remember. I did all the research when I bought this bike, but my brain can't hold all that information. So I think I only rode like maybe 50 miles on this bike before I sold it after I fixed it up. Rode it, took a few photos. So, Glenn, you must know a good photographer. Oh, thanks, Rick. I guess I'll leave it up here while the accolades roll in about my bike photo. I hear you, Greg. I mean, corporate giving is a thing, but, when you make massive profits, it's just, I mean, your local bike shop would give even more, higher percentage if they had the ability to do so. So, again, not going to shit all over REI. Like I said, I am a member, and I go there when I'm in a jam or when I need something super specific I couldn't get somewhere else, but... Robin, real life, you said Eric's is the corporate monster in your area. I didn't know about the thing which I think is now being reversed, but for a while of how Trek was buying up local bike shops and then turning them into Trek bike shops. The first one I ever saw was actually when I was riding with Rick Erb out in Philly. So, it's like right on cue here. We have a Trek store here that is very corporate. When they moved in, Trek pulled their brand out of all the local shops. Yeah. I don't think Eddie's will carry Centuries, Jameis, Salsa, and Surly, though. Probably not. They'll probably stick with the brands they already have their deals with. So, Edmund, I'm sorry, but I need to cross my legs the other way because I am dying. Could you hang on for a second? This dude is out cold. Look at this. He's not even moving. Still want to hang out? I know you don't like it when you've been disturbed. Oh, Benedict Madison. That's the name I was looking for. Ronnie was going by Benedict for a while. Oh, is Benedict his real name? Enlightened and Preparing, what's up? You said his real name was Robert Paulson? Huh. Yeah, I'm not a huge Felt fan either, but again, I mean... Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like every purchase I make is on the up and up, so, Kaojing said, those Rivendale silver cranks with the big old bash guard are just about the ugliest cranks you've ever seen, to be honest. Yeah. I think some of my favorite cranks are that are super expensive are the Rene Erse ones. That would probably surprise nobody. Are we at 10 o'clock already? Slow Cycle said he goes to Ernie's in New Philadelphia. I'm trying to think if I've ever been there because I've ridden in New Philly a number of times. Have you been there?
I worked with a girl, I think it was their dad or grandfather owned it.
Was his name Ernie? Huh.
Or she was actually probably just full of shit, but she had me going. Yeah, Ernie's is cool. I mean, it's nothing.
Is there more than one Ernie? Oh, yes. Oh, the big Ernie's where they have the kayaking and canoe boat. Oh, there's one in Maslin. They have the big store in Maslin. That must be their other one.
That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Slow Cyclist, let me know, and I'll try and have Dave read ahead if there are two Ernie's. But the Ernie's in Maslin, right by the dam, is a huge shop. They have a restaurant, and
that's not Maslin.
Yeah, it's Maslin.
Is that Maslin?
Yeah, it's Maslin.
That's the one I'm thinking about.
Right on the outskirts of Maslin, right by the big Army Corps of Engineers dam. They have
that's got to be right at the edge.
They have a boat launch. They have all kinds of stuff. Like they have all these cool vintage Treks when they're still American made hanging in the ceiling.
There's actually 3.
3 Ernie's. Okay, so
I'm thinking of the North Canton one.
North what?
Canton.
North Canton Ernie's. Huh. Yeah. The Maslin one is a big store. I thought that was their main store.
Yeah, Maslin, North Canton, New Philly.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never gone to the New Philly one. There's a good shop down that way too in Canal Fulton, Brimstone. We actually, when we were doing Ohio to Erie one year, Erin's hub shredded. She was riding like a Lance Era, like Bontrager wheel. Totally made for racing with all the gear loaded on the back on her Surly Pacer. And the hub, like the spokes came through the holes. And the dude who owned Brimstone Cycles, they weren't even open that day, but he happened to be in there, gave Erin a wheel off one of his personal bikes.
Jeez.
So, and then charged us like $25. We were like, no, you got to charge more than that. Like, you got to charge us more than that. Dimitri said, well, hockey is over. What did I miss? The Adventure Dispatch video that Benedict did on YouTube made you want to go ride. I don't remember the title, but I've watched most of the stuff he's done on there. So, does New Philadelphia have cheesesteaks? Oh, and preparing said Brimstone, yeah. Rev said you should check out Spin Bike Shop in Medina. I feel like I have been to Spin. Aren't they more roadie? Aren't they a pretty roadie bike shop?
I don't know. Spin's all right.
I haven't been there forever.
Good bike shops all over the place.
Yeah. Northeast, I've said that too. That I take it for granted, and that's why I was saying earlier that I forget some people have one bike shop and it sucks. We are so spoiled here. I mean, the Wheel and Wrench is walking distance from here. You know, Dirty River, Blimp City in the Valley, Joy Machines. You know,
I'm just thinking there's a handful in Canton that are decent shops.
Yeah, Canton has some good ones. There used to be one in, what's the next town down? Barberton, but that place hasn't. That looks like a vault. There's one in Barberton that was Magic City used to be across the street before they moved, but I've never seen them open. I always look in the window. But how did the Pook ride? It rode great. That was a really that bike planed, as John would say. Oh, Glenn, you said may need to hire Tim to take a photo shoot of your 81 Motobacan purchased from Rick Case back in the day. It's interesting because when I showed some people that Motobacan, they asked if that's where it came from, but we didn't live in Akron. My dad didn't live in Akron when he got it. But that Rick Case is across the street from the studio, so people assume that that's where it would have come from. What you got a free, I guess Rick Case had a deal where you got a Motobacan if you bought a certain, was it a Honda? Yeah, Rick Case Honda, yeah. What Gilded Age children's book character is Dave again? I don't remember. The person who said that would have to be in here. I can't never remember who popped that comment up the first time. if you ride the Charles River, they have a beer garden that is open this summer. Yeah, I went to that beer garden was not open, but I saw it this time right over by the big Brutalist buildings downtown. Because we walked the Charles River, me and my buddy Eric, when I was in town last. So Edmund not helping the sciatic. Hey, what's up, Racer? Yeah, the Ingrid crank. I don't know if you saw, Chris, my buddy Mikey, who I was riding with, had Ingrid cranks on there, on his bike, on his Surly. What's his Surly? Whatever Surly he has. Yeah, it was Renee. Everything Renee does is so pretty. That guy obviously has aesthetics. So. Ashtabula triple. That crap is bulletproof. How large is saying, Massillon, Canton. Yeah, I have some Velo Orange crank sets that I really like too. Shoot, I just messed this up. I've got the Velo Orange ones on my Marin when I converted that to a drop bar bike, and I really like them. I really like the Velo Orange ones that have like the Drillium look, but they weren't the right ones I needed for this bike. So. Oh. And Lighton was making a joke that went over my head. That's not surprising. So. And Pudgy got the joke. I just didn't. I've only seen Fight Club once, so I'm not going to remember the jokes. And I never read the book. So. Oh, Jay Dandy. That's what I pulled up Pudgy's comment, and that's what I wanted to ask before I moved on. What does a high volume chainring mean? Tim knows about Fight Club, but he doesn't talk about it. I do get that joke. I get that joke. Pudgy's hate for Renee Hurst is so ridiculous. It's such a good company that makes such cool stuff. Everyone's hate for it. Like the alt cycling's hate for Jan Hein is to me one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Like it's just a dude who loves bikes, and he doesn't try to pretend like everything he makes is for everybody. He straight up comes out and says it's a small brand that makes stuff that's expensive. Yeah, these are super expensive. Ingrid's not that pricey though, and yeah, these are beautiful. There's no way someone thinks these are not beautiful. Unless you only like modern stuff. You would put those on every bike you own.
Oh, yeah. If I could afford it.
Yeah. But everyone spends all this money on Chris King and White Industries. I don't get it. Like, what's the difference? It's small batch stuff, so it's super expensive. I don't spend money on White or Chris King either, but I don't have a problem with it, you know. Does he have a triple? Yeah. That's the best looking triple crank set I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it looks like a watch.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, looks like a watch. Yeah. And a bunch of different teeth options for each one too, so. Yeah, they're just beautiful. The when we were at Nutmeg last year, JP Weigel, the frame builder, had a bike built with the Reneers crankset on it. It looked so cool, and he had Campy shifters. Campy shifters, Reneers crankset, hand-built bike in Connecticut. It was so cool. Anywho. Wes, you're right. Someone's got to do a super chat. Large March said Spin does a lot of mountain bikes. Okay. Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been years since I've been at Spin, so. Oh, Lighton, you said Eric at Brimstone is legit. His slogan is more than a bike shop. He's got vintage Tonelli, your vintage Tonelli in his basement. It's supposed to be making it look original again. Oh, awesome. Yeah. I love me vintage Italian bikes. It's the one thing I don't own. But now that I don't ride road bikes, I'll probably never own one.
Wes Cheslak became a member.
Hey, Wes, thanks so much. Now you got to hear the goofy voice.
There you go.
Yeah. That's one way to make it happen. Oh, Dave is the Swedish grandma. That's right. But there was a name.
Was it Swedish?
I don't think you could just...
That's what I've been trying to find.
Yeah. Yeah, Enlighten, drop a photo of that in the Discord so we could pull it up. Speaking of that, did anyone drop drink pics or anything tonight? No. So. Keystone, I've heard of, Madison, I've heard a lot of people bring up Keystone. I'm not sure if I watched a video on them and that's why I know it, but, or just from our friends who are in Philly, but. Oh, Racer, you said you run the Motorbicane Bicycle Owners group on FB. I'll have to join. Mine is a, some of you guys might have noticed who were here. I have a display in the storefront window, and I've just kind of been using it as that. I've been using it as my YouTube studio for the photography channel. And then I had like for the Browns, and I had the mannequins dressed in Browns gear. And so when everyone was coming, I just set up the display and put vintage jerseys on the mannequins and put my Motorbicon in the store window. Mine's a cheap one, but the paint job is beautiful. It's silver. And I've read that Motorbicane did that. They differentiated themselves from the other French brands by actually making their bikes look like someone cared about making them. Like I have a Jeton that's like 10 times the bike, and it looks like half the quality. You know, that white Tour de France is so much nicer. It's Reynolds. It's like high end. What's the French component brand that's the more top of the line one? The shifters, they're out of business now. They had plastic in them and they ended up failing over time, but at the time shifted really well. Why am I drawing a blank on that name? Anyways. Fat Albert, I actually don't feel like that. I could see what you're saying if they're busy. But when we travel, we go into like the bike shops all the time. We always try to make a point to, at least if they have stickers or something, buy them. But a lot of times if they're not actively wrenching on bikes, we find that most bike shops are interested to talk to people out of town or people who are bike packing. Again, I wouldn't wear out your welcome. We definitely don't do it for an hour, but like, you know, when we were in the Hudson Valley and we stopped in Utility Bikes, which was a really cool bike shop, a bunch of the people from the channel here recommended to us. The owner was happy to chat for about 10 minutes. And then if a customer walks in, we kind of, you know, say our goodbyes or whatever, or, you know, back out. Same with Syracuse, that awesome bike shop. Velo Mello went to with Pudgy. They were happy. They wanted to talk to us. And, you know, I think most people who own a bike shop are not just in it for the money, and they do enjoy that kind of community stuff, but the ones I like. So, you know, if you stop enjoying machines, Alex or Woody are going to talk to you kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's, you know, be conscious. People walk into bike shops and just have nothing else to do and annoy the employees when they're trying to work. I know because my friends, you know, and yeah, you're stepping over a line there. Anyone who's captive in their job, you can't do that to. It's a dick move. But spend 5-10 minutes talking to a bike shop owner when you're traveling and, you know, read the room. Are they trying to get away from you? I know some people just don't have that ability, but, you know, read the room. So. And if you don't know how to read a room, if it's been more than 10 minutes, it's time to go. If they're working on something else, it's time to go. You know, if someone in there is going to buy something, quit wasting their time. Strega Nona is who you look like.
Strega Nona. Who remembers that?
You said you're too springy looking tonight. Eddie Welker, but he might be the one who originally said it.
Nice.
I don't know what an Ashtabula triple is. Do you?
I did at one point. I'd have to look it up, but
I know it sounds familiar to me,
I've
but
heard that before.
I can't remember what it is. Ashta. Is it from Ashtabula, Ohio? I've run through there. When I type it in, Ashtabula County Auditor. What, do you get a DUI or something? I have to put this in quotes. There's too many local Ashtabula things that come up here. If you guys don't know, Ashtabula is a town on Lake Erie in Ohio. And when we ride up to Micah's family's area in Conneaut, we go right through there. All I'm getting is like triple murders in Ashtabula. Bike Forums has it. So Saturday, Channel 19 News. Saturday showers, Ashtabula triple shooting. Oh, damn.
Racer X84107112 super chatted $20. $20 from Racer X84107112 to Motoba the channel, and I sold some bikes and bike stuff. Yes, I do sell shit.
Oh, man. Thanks so much, Racer. That's great. Oh, that threw me totally. I was reading this headline. Saturday showers, Ashtabula triple shooting, powder sent to. I'll let you. Are you working on figuring out what exactly that means?
I'm getting the same thing. The closest I got to cycling related was Ashtabula triathlon.
Huh. Did you put it in quotes?
Yep. That's when the shooting popped up.
Huh. Well, I'm sure someone's already explained it in the comments that I'm missing. Mitch's Bike Shop in Tremont. Now, that guy was a total character. No, not familiar with it. Ronald, yeah, complex answer to a simple question. Do I ride mountain bikes at all? I ride mountain bike trails a fair bit. The bike I ride on it is not technically a mountain bike. It's a gunner that I have 55s on and sweet bars. I ride mountain bikes because I have vintage mountain bikes but I wouldn't ride those at the mountain bike trails because my 26-inch wheel mountain bikes are not nearly as capable as my gunner is. So the answer is yes, I ride mountain bike trails and I ride mountain bikes, but not mountain bikes on mountain bike trails. Yeah, I have my Marin is a 90s mountain bike. My winter bike is a 2001 Trek. I have a 1989 Stump Jumper Team, but I put the Velo Orange utility bars on that and turned it more into a kind of like cool commuter. When I'm going to work, I could those Velo Orange bars work perfect with my camera bag. So are those the only 320? I have 3 26-inch mountain bikes built up. Yeah.
I was even looking earlier, thinking about it. You got a lot of 26s just sitting here.
Yeah, that guy from Pittsburgh who gave me like that haul of bikes. So there's like I was telling you about this gold one right here that you might be interested in, and also there's a green one, but they all had wheel sets and extra wheel sets with them.
Oh.
So I've got a bunch of 26-inch wheels. Yeah. Some were well ridden though. The brake tracks are very well worn in. You know. Edmund, you're so cute.
So the Ashtabula triple, still don't know exactly what it is, but it has something to do with the crank.
So the cranks are what are heavy, because everyone's saying how they're heavy. Rick, now that I'm looking a little more, the drop bars on the right side are a little bright. Yeah. Specialite TA. Oh, I have some TA cranks that are pretty. The best chain rings, though, are on the Viscount. Do I have a picture of that on Flickr? The prettiest chain rings are the most unique are the Lambert Viscount chain rings with the machined aluminum ovals in them. Have you guys ever seen those? Ah, and of course it's just a handlebar photo. Let's see if I could. Man, doesn't not gonna look very good zoomed in like that. But this is a photo I entered in a contest called Spring Dreaming. Took a lot of work to rig my camera up to the ceiling of the studio like that. I don't have a good picture of the cranks that's on. I guess this might work, but yeah, I think those are the coolest cranks. They have like just perfect circles drilled into them.
Oh yeah, nice.
I wonder if there's a set, because we do have another Viscount Aerospace sitting here in a box from Lenky that I have yet to open. I should see if there's another set of those in there. I rode that bike like a gravel bike when I first got it. Surprised I didn't die with that aluminum fork. Caljing said his one gripe with Renair's is that's held you back from buying things. Impossible to contact them. Comments turned off on IG. That's because they had a bunch of trolls from the alt cycling community nonstop attacking them. And no email or phone number. Huh, interesting. I get our local bike shop here is a dealer of the tires, so I get the tires from Dirty River. It's elitist, it's not obtainable, and it's old tech. Isn't that exactly what Ronnie advocates for? It's a guy who friction shifts. So I guess, Pudgy, my issue with you hating Jan Hein is that Ronnie's attitude about bikes is the same. So that's why it throws me off. And elitist is small batch, expensive stuff. Like, again, like all your anodized bike parts are small batch, expensive stuff. I just don't understand that. And it's not a personal attack. I see it everywhere. People will put White Industries stuff on their bike, or like I said, my buddy, he's not against Jan Hein in any way, but has like the Ingrid cranks, which are even more expensive, and no one ever acts like that's not super fucking expensive small batch stuff. But then when Jan does it, all of a sudden he's like this asshole. I don't know. And when I see him get interviewed, he never tries to like sell his like stuff, his way of thinking or anything. And Ronnie literally acts like you're an idiot if you use Shimano 11 speed. He's like a dick about it. Not in person, but in his videos. He stands there and like rips on SRAM, and all you guys ride that shit, but you don't have a problem with it.
F him then.
Hey, well, SRAM sucks. That's why I agree with him. But I still index shift. Everybody here, almost everybody here has bikes that index shift. So.
I figured out what an Ashtabula triple is.
What's an Ashtabula triple?
It's a one-piece crank.
Oh, a one-piece crank. Like those ones that came off old Schwinn's and stuff that go all the way through the bottom bracket? Oh, I remember those things. There's a bike here that has... there's a bike somewhere here that has one. I can't remember why. Oh, it was that... I bought a frame from the scrapper I got my Peugeot from, and... my Schwinn World Sport from, that just looked cool, a Japanese bike, but it had a real piece of shit crank. Square taper doesn't last a year on your bikes. Huh. I have no issue with square taper. But yeah, I put 5,000 miles on square taper cranks on the Peugeot, and I'm running square taper on the Velo Orange crank set. That bike has a lot of miles, and I rode it loaded. But yeah. Huh. Fat Albert, you always think everything's overpriced, though. I mean, it's all up to, yeah. I mean, again, you can find old XTR and XT cranks. Yeah. True. You could say that about anything. I just did a photo shoot for a guy who today, the stuff we were shooting, his distributor sent their stuff to China, and they're knocking it off in China, and now you can get their stuff for half the price. You can make the decision, do you want to support this cool company that invented this product and their workers are in Akron, Ohio getting paid living wages, or do you want to say, stuff is too overpriced and I'll buy the Chinese, or I could get something used. All those are your choices. So to make. There's always something cheaper out there. There's always something used. Not everybody knows what fits with used stuff. Sometimes you go into a local bike shop, as Lar just said, and you buy new stuff because the owners know what to sell you that's going to work for your bike. So, I 100% agree with that, Jay Dandy. And again, I don't run like a bunch of Renair stuff. I'm not getting a bike rebrazed to fit that $900 rear derailleur he sells. I think it's super eccentric to make stuff like that, but it doesn't make me mad because nobody has to buy it. It's up to you. But yeah, so Jan makes what he likes. Others have the opportunity to purchase what he likes. He's just satisfying himself. So yeah. Thanks again, Wes, for joining. I've just been pretty put off lately by this, and again, like parody stuff, humor stuff that's funny, but like I just think it's really weird with the alt cycling community, like just really going off on Jan. I'm like, but did this guy commit some murder that no one's telling me about? Is he harassed female employees? Like, is there something I'm missing that makes this guy a bad person? He just makes cool bike stuff, and nobody has to buy it. Has a total aesthetic. And again, like if square taper doesn't work for you, that's fine. I've got bikes sitting here from the 70s with the original square taper cranks on them. So I don't know. Yeah, small volume stuff is expensive, Too many bikes for $500 cranks. Yeah, I'm not buying $500 cranks. I just think they're beautiful, and people do. God, I think so. Here's something. I think Chris King headsets are a ripoff, but everybody gets them anodized to match their bikes, and I'm not mad at them for doing it. I don't think White Industry cranks shift as well as Shimano's. Shimano has way more tech in their cranks. White looks cooler, and they're made in the USA, so I don't have any problem with anyone buying them. It's not a better product, and you're paying way more for it. It's because you like it, and it looks cool, and that's fine. People can do that, Those cranks won't work in Canada. Well, let's see if I could. Man, we're gonna try and catch up here. And Fat Albert, the Renair tires in the thinner casings can be challenging. So I love them when I get them working, but they can be challenging. I'm not gonna deny it. Anything that's super supple is gonna have that issue. I just go into Dirty River to hang out with Wednesday the cat for a few hours. Is that bad? Rick, you could read a room better than anyone I know. This dude works a room he's amazing. He's taking awesome portraits of people who are hanging out wherever we go and stuff like that. And again, Pudgy, if you love Ronnie, he's all about square taper. He says outboard bearings are the ugliest things you could put on bikes. So, again, I just think it's hypocritical to support one guy who's saying the exact same thing, but then be mad at another guy. I don't get it. Like, Ronnie he will only put square taper on his bikes, and he's your dude. It's just hypocritical. Oh, Nathan Mace, you bought a polyvalent. Let's see it. We got to open this in the browser. Showing too small. Oh, nice. Their ones in the green when they had them on sale were really tempting me. I was a huge fan of the green ones. This one looks pretty sweet too. Love the fenders. We got the one-piece crank answer. And again, Racer, thanks for the super chat. Rick said I stop into bike shops to clog the toilets, then I leave. Just finally sold a vintage Ashtabula BMX fork you had on eBay for years. Hey, Dave, do you mind beering me?
Sure. I can't find any dirt on Jan.
Can't find any dirt on you?
Nah.
No. Yeah. I've got a couple pro Jan designs I'm thinking of bringing out. I just think it'd be funny. There was another ale one that wasn't super strong.
How am I supposed to know that?
It says it on there.
Oh, blood ale sounds pretty strong. Stout's dark.
No, that was strong.
That's low.
Yeah, Fat Albert said square taper. Oh, yeah, I've never had an issue with square taper, but I mean, it probably just, I don't know. And Pudgy knows what he's doing, so I know he would not have an issue with installing cranks correctly. So
I think, Renee, even, I don't know if you know.
I'm not saying I know more than you do about square taper cranks, Pudgy. I'm just saying, as a bunch of other people here are saying, that they've had no issue with them lasting forever. So that'll work.
That's a good choice.
Got another beer from Black Ball, and it's a low alcohol IPA, which is perfect for right now because it's already 10:30. 4% alcohol IPA. So yeah, again, everyone's experience isn't the same, and I know you're bike mechanics, so you've probably seen them wear it. I've never had an issue with any of the ones I ride. So. I'm not here for friends. Yeah. No, I would rather have a debate, though. I mean, I don't want you to lie, Pudgy, just so we get along fine in person. We could argue about bike stuff and disagree. I say that with everyone we talk to. That's the point of this. Like, and again, I say this little note once in a while that this is a bunch of nerds talking inside baseball, and if you're just listening along and you think we're all like being dicks, it's just nerds talking inside baseball stuff. The important thing is that you ride bikes. So. Oh, yeah. I did meet your buddy from Grand Rapids right before the Otis-Roubaix. So yeah. Oh, nice. You decided to spend the 40th in Cleveland, rode the trails, went to play. Nice. Yeah, he said they rode the towpath. Did he say they rode it all the way up to Cleveland? I know they rode through the Cuyahoga Valley the day before. Well, we did the channel meetup ride instead. He said they rode that, but then he saw my Strava that we rode right past his hotel when we went down the gravel. Cool. Yeah, it was square. Like, well, any cup and cone bottom brackets, the one thing I've been able to do is always service them, and that's one of the things I like about them. One of the things I don't like about the outboard bearings is when they're cheap, but when they wear out, they go in the trash, you know. And again, if you're ruining square taper, it'd be the same thing, but I guess at least they could be scrapped or recycled. But it's just yeah, so I've had luck. Like, whenever I buy a bike that's a vintage bike, I usually take apart the bottom bracket and the cranks and just re-grease them and everything. So, but yeah, it's worked for me.
What size tire you got in Raleigh?
Those are 44s.
Those are 44s?
Yeah. Dave asked me what size tires the Raleigh had on. That's what I'm telling you. Those are 55s.
That's ridiculous.
Your perception has been skewed by looking at how big people's tires are now.
That's like a 2-inch.
When does it change to 2-inch?
It's right around.
Yeah, it's
there.
about right around 55. I use road standards for all my, because that's vintage road bike, so I'm always 700C. I never say 29er, and I never say 27.5. I always say 650B, and then I always use the millimeters for the tires. So yeah. What we all talking about Sheldon Brown for now? Oh, everyone looked it up on Sheldon Brown. Yeah, for the Ashtabula. That's what you should have done. Going to Sheldon's glossary.
I couldn't remember his. I was trying to look up something else. I couldn't remember him to save my life.
Ronnie doesn't sell overpriced cranks. I'll grant you that, Budgie. I'm sure he buys overpriced cranks. I mean, when I was looking at the overpriced cranks on the JP Weigel, it was literally JP Weigel, Ronnie's good friend, standing there. So both of them. So, what are you looking at?
I'll just see where you're at.
Nah. Overpriced industrial gravel tires. What's up, Matt? So Matt, thanks for renewing your channel membership. I saw that the other day. Why is this not loading? I'll wait. Hopefully they'll load, but a couple of the photos that you guys have popped into the Discord are not loading. And I'll try and reload that page, see if it works. So, funny thing is, I ride the Renee Hurst tires, and we were just talking at the bike shop after the meetup. The one, what was the name of the younger dude who was riding that sweet 1973 Raleigh? There's a dude riding a 1973 Raleigh Corsa over all the gravel we rode that day.
Are you serious?
28 millimeter tires.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he hung tough, and then when me and Jay Dandy were hanging out with him at the brewery, it was cool. He was only 26, and he knew all. He has a Waterford, bunch of cool bikes. Oh, now that stuff load. I'll pull them up in a minute. Randy said, any chance to give you a tutorial on all my bikes? I do have a playlist on my bikes on the homepage of the YouTube channel. I haven't made one on every bike yet. That's the goal. I had hoped to do it last summer, and then just always felt like riding my gravel bike and not going out and filming the other ones. But that is the goal. But there are a number of them up there. My Truck 500's up there, the Stump Jumper's up there, the Marin's up there, the Gunner's up there. So, yeah. The Viscount, there's a video on the Viscount, I believe. So, yeah. Yeah, Caljing, I don't know. I just see it on the people I follow on Instagram. Even, from people I really like, Pudgy being one of them. But Jared from Hope, I've seen. Lugs Not Drugs, I've seen post negative stuff about Jan Hein. So, I don't get it. All people I really like. Shimano cranks are the best, 100%. Yeah. They are. Even like on the inner of the big chain ring, how it's like designed to run the chain right up onto the big one. They're a giant company that does a ton of research that makes the best cranks. They're not the prettiest cranks. They're ugly.
Yeah, see, I'll go form over function any day.
But 9-speed Shimano cranks still look good. That's where you go. If you can. Look at that's what the ones on the Trek 500 there used to be on the Raleigh. They still have like a classic look, even though they're not I always say not that old, but now I realize how old I'm getting. So.
What's on the Marin right here?
Those are the Velo Orange ones.
Oh, okay.
Those are really pretty.
That makes sense.
Akron said, Tim, this all makes sense. I like Canyon. I hate Canon. And shoot, a Sony A1. I like carbon frames. I buy my Pathfinder Pros from Eddie's, and I don't drink. I ride a red Trek. That's the funny thing when it comes to Canon, Sony, and Nikon, Sony. Again, I don't actually care. Like I think they both make great cameras, and I would. And plus, I was a big Minolta guy, and if Sony's cameras were better back in the day, that's what I would have went with, because of my Minolta nerdery. But yeah, Sony definitely has pushed the industry, so I love Sony for that reason. Canon wouldn't have the R5 if it wasn't for Sony, but yeah. And I'm not even anti-carbon. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I do feel like a steel bike's going to last forever, and a carbon bike's going to end up in the landfill. So. Oh, and it was, so you are a Red Trek guy for real. It wasn't just a joke. I'm reading your second comment now. Yeah, so I do feel bad about not saying what's up. So what's up now? And again, this is all nerdy bike talk and camera talk, even when we do argue about it. And we would have all had a beer and had a good time in person, no matter what. So. Let's see let's pull up the photos. Oh, yeah. So this is for anyone who's here earlier, come on. It's like trying to download a porn image in 1997. Look, why is it doing this?
That's pretty bad.
The stream is going through in full. Yeah, this was the Rodriguez, Chris's friend Bo we were talking about earlier with the campy. Yeah, very cool bike. And then the cranks that Rick was talking about. Bike works on. Oh, it's got a hand in it. I've seen Peugeot ones that have vintage Peugeot ones that have lions in the chain. Mm-hmm. Those are so sweet.
That's sick, yeah.
And then when I was at if you guys have ever been to Dayton, where the Wright Museum is, their old bicycle workshop. For anyone who doesn't know, the Wright brothers were bike mechanics. So they had a Huffy crank that actually said Huffy in the steel. It must have been teens, obviously, because they stopped fixing bikes after they started doing the airplane thing. That's one of my favorite. I put that comic somewhere in the Discord one night, but that's my favorite comic ever. It shows like two guys watching the Wright Flyer take off. He says, "What I see is my bike not getting fixed this weekend." Oh, is this the Ashtabula? Oh, here we go. Rob's Ashtabula crank set.
Does that bike weigh 50 pounds? Just that part of it.
That's what everyone's saying. That bike weighs 50 pounds. Yeah. Or those weigh. Yeah. Oh, I didn't have it up. Sorry. Did I have the last one up?
I don't know.
Did I have any of that stuff up? Damn it. Did I have the Rodriguez up? I can't remember. It's late. I'm tired. I'm a little drunk. All right. Let's see if we could. Well, I'll show the crank set real quick just in case I didn't show it that Rick had dropped in here. Now it's gone. I was in stream updates. God, again with this loading the photos. I wonder if Discord's having an issue. All right. We're going to fly through these comments and get to an ending. 10:51, yeah. Yins are here to break chains and say hi, and I'm all out of chains. That's what I was telling you. I rolled up, and he's just holding his bike chain in his hand. I'm like, why are you holding a bike chain? Drinkwater said bike industry is whack these days. Realize after getting your Allsfitty Space Horse doesn't even have quick release wheels. What? I mean, it would have through axles now, right? The old ones have quick release. Yeah, you got to carry whatever tool. I don't know. I only have one bike with through axles, but it has the tool built in to remove them. So I didn't think there was a problem with quick release. Even with disc brakes. Everyone's like, well, disc brakes. I've never had a problem. If you put your wheel in and you hear it rubbing your disc brakes, then you reopen the quick release, get it in the right way, and move on.
Right.
When you watch like pro racing and like the bike mechanics are trying to fuck with those things and it's taking forever, it's like road bikes do not need through axles. I get why mountain bikes have them. Like that strength, and I don't even really mind them that much on the Gunner because I abuse that bike pretty bad. But I don't know. My Raleigh is running the same quick releases, and I've beaten the shit out of that for 6 years now or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, so much for getting through the comments fast. Yeah, Bun, I agree with that. When you as a product designer, when you hear someone complain about the cost of small batch parts, say, do you think they're getting rich? Yeah. And think of like some of the stuff also we see people buy, like what the Austere cycling, those little clamps he makes for straps that are super expensive. And everyone knows this is a guy with one CNC machine making these things. And everyone loves those, you know, because it's one guy making something really cool that's really functional, and it costs a lot of money because of that. But you don't have to buy it. Oh, Enlightened, I didn't know about Discord before I was doing this either. It's just a message board. And so, like, we have one that goes with the channel, so it's a way that we could share, help each other out, plan rides, all that kind of stuff. So you should check it out. It's just basically a glorified message board that you just have to make a username and a password for. I have it set up so it doesn't send you notifications. You would have to turn those on yourself. So no spam, none of that stuff. So chain was so waxed it just slipped apart. The other thing I didn't remember saying is when this was going on and Otis was fixing the bike, he was like fixing the chain, taking out a couple links, I think. He was like, do you wax your chain? It's kind of gummed up down there. And you're just like, yeah, well. And then I guess I was just like, you can't try and hide your secrets from him now. This guy's a bike mechanic. Cool shit ain't cheap. Cheap shit ain't cool.
Who said that?
Nathan Mace. I do like that quote, but I also like cheap shit too, because I do have a lot of cheap bikes that I like. So just like we were looking at the Ashtabula crank, but I do have cheap bikes I like to ride. My Peugeot's cheap, so. That was directed at Fat Albert, who was trying to troll. Fat Albert always tries to get us going, Pudgy. Yeah. Gotcha, guys. I see that you're saying. Does anyone drink lagers anymore? Randy Hale, I started off the night with a lager from Blackball. So I think they're making a comeback. I think I see more, like when you go to craft breweries, you see more Pilsners and lagers now. People who... There's a lot of people who walk in, they're not big, they don't want some heavy IPA or stout. They want like just a good tasting solid beer. So let's see where we get. Got some weed talk going. Oh shoot. Almost lost everything. Oh, Steven said you rode Cuyahoga Valley Trail. So that's the towpath. Emerald Necklace on the west side of the city that weekend. Perfect for your girlfriend's speed. Nice. Oh, yeah. The guy from Ravenna is Sean J. Dandy. Yeah. I I don't know. You might not be asking me that, but yeah. Oh, you were asking the other dude who said he's from Kent. So who just said that? Acura Rex. Spell that out phonetically for me. Yeah, Cycling Brian, I don't think they have a ton of dealers. Otis has been a huge Jan Hein fan since before Reneers used that name. They used to be Compass Cycles, and then Bicycle Quarterly, I think, predates him selling anything, right? Before he ever made anything.
He was the editor for them.
Yeah. So Otis has been a huge Bicycle Quarterly fan, so much so that he's given me all his doubles.
Oh, nice.
And they're great articles. I just think, Pudgy, if you picked up some, maybe you haven't, maybe you don't like his attitude, but I mean, I think they're really interesting articles. The travel articles are really interesting. They do real science, not the GCN science. I mean, one of the people has been pushing for the wider tires on everything, even road bikes, for years. So I don't know, whatever. People do love a bike check. What's up, Dimitri? Pudgy, I'm kind of the same, but I mean, we all do show stuff for our bikes. I don't know. I mean, I don't, but you guys do. Dave here does too. Dave's a real aesthetic forward guy. Hey, what's up, Mr. Natty? Said 3-speed Sturmy Archer hubs gears rock when you're doing sweet jumps on your Raleigh Grifter. Yeah, Nathan May said, yeah, for the shine, all the new tech is black. Dude, when those silver GRX group sets came out, I know it was so dumb and it was such a gimmick of Shimano trying to, because they were realizing everyone like was getting into that stuff. I still wanted it. And Otis, I think, had the chance to get one, and I'm like, no, I don't need it. And someone else offered one to me. I can't remember. Maybe it was you, Pudgy. Maybe your shop was able to get them, but. Oh, Blackball wants the link too. Do you remember the name of the character you look like?
Stregonona.
How do I spell that?
Streega. Apparently it's American.
Noma?
Nona.
Stregonona. It's so funny because it's so right. Where's like a full size Stregonona? I don't know how you look like that, but you do. Is it just like the hood? Just the way you wear your hood and your hat?
Especially that one day.
Yeah, they said you're looking a little too springy today to be true Stregonona. Aluminum Peugeot, nice. Enlightened. I don't have any vintage aluminum. I mean, I guess if you count some of my bikes that don't seem vintage to me, like my '01 Trek, you know. Then I guess this is an '07 on my trainer here is an '07 Trek road bike, but I didn't like that bike on the road at all. That's why I said I'll never believe people who say frame material doesn't matter. It's the harshest ride I've ever had. Super stiff, felt like I've said this a million times on the stream. Felt great climbing, but let's get through here. Yeah, great weekend, Rick. Yeah. Sucked, Rick J. Dandy said, trying to be nice. Hated it the whole time. You missed nothing. Didn't even take any photos or videos. Rob said, my bike weighs 873 pounds but rides like a caddy. Oh, Otis is always silently judging, and sometimes not so silently judging. AJ6 said, thinking of riding the Southern Tier next month. I know where like the Southern Tier is considered. What is I don't know what the Southern Tier Trail is though, or what that would be considered. Glenn said he tried to join Discord and got an immediate ban for violating terms of service. Huh, maybe they do have a problem. Or you're a perv, Glenn. Yeah, are you allowed near schools? All right. Oh, my chat started to stop moving. There we go. Oh, it was you, Pudge. You asked if I wanted the shiny GRX. Yeah, I definitely couldn't swing it. I just didn't need it. I still don't need it. It's sweet. Yeah, Sam Diaz, what's up? Said next bike industry innovation, silver components for sure. I can't believe, like, they made those limited GRX and like Shimano and SRAM aren't just like, we should make some of our gravel group sets in silver. You know, I just don't believe it. I don't understand why they wouldn't be like, how they're not seeing that market. Or is it are we such a nerdy niche that I feel like it's way bigger than it is? But when I go to Nutmeg, it's like there's 400 people there that want to buy silver components, you know, and I'm just saying Nutmeg out there, and I know 400 is a small number, but I'm just like, this is a big, like, internet. Like, when I'm looking at everything, there's a bunch of us. We're all doing this because we all, I don't know, a lot of us agree on this kind of stuff, and it doesn't matter if you don't. But I'm like, it just seems like there's such a market for pretty bike components, like you said, Pudgy, that aren't $500. So why do these, I don't know. There was a Pathless Pedal, Russ did a good interview with, what's the Rivendell owner's name? Bill? It's not Bill. Bill. I've drawn a total blank on his name. I just read his book. It doesn't matter. But they were talking about that. He was like, Shimano could so easily, at scale, release some stuff that so many of us want, you know, instead of always pushing roadie and mountain bike innovation, which, again, have their places. Like, they should innovate. They should make new stuff. They should stay in business. But it's just so weird that no one would make something that it just seems like not no one will make it. They do, and then it costs $500. But I don't know. Whatever. Does that make any sense? Probably not.
No.
Eddie said, can't believe you never had Stranganota as kids. Cauldron of pasta. I'd trade a bike for that. Eddie, what era is Straganona from? I don't know. No.
70s. I think it was first written in the 70s. I've been doing some research.
Yeah, you're doing some Straganona research.
It's on the banned book list, though, so that's why we didn't read it. It's all about witches and witchcraft.
Southern Tier is from San Diego. Oh, so there's a different San Diego. Different Southern Tier. Southern Tier is from San Diego to somewhere in Florida. Don't know, don't care. Yeah, the Southern Tier, like New York has an area called the Southern Tier. That's where Southern Tier Brewing's from, Lakewood, New York. So must just be a couple things. Discord didn't like your plaid shirt. Grant Peterson. Grant Peterson is the owner of Rivendell. Rivendell, not Rivendale. That's a punk rock band from Berkeley. Hey, gamer girl, what's up? Todd Fitzwater. That's my brother. Why'd you say Oh, he's guessing names. Pudgy doesn't like Grant Peterson either. Let's get into that one. Let's open up another can of worms. What are you still doing up, Todd? Shouldn't you be sleeping? Oh, Grant is not a little odd. Grant's 100% odd. Just like Jan. Robert Paulson. This is the best part of the night. All right, cycling, Brian. See you later. Southern Tier is an adventure cycling route, huh? How did I catch up doing that? Did I skip it? No, I literally caught up. I mean, I did skip a couple, but. Trying to cut out your bike is a pain in the ass. 38 centimeter frame. 38? 38 millimeters?
No, no.
That'd be the smallest. That's like a
38
bike.
centimeter. Yeah, a millimeter. That'd be one of those little miniature ones.
Yeah, so like they have like a little.
God, 38 centimeters. That's tiny. Well,
38.
What kind of bike are we talking about?
There's no bike that 38 wouldn't be tiny.
Yeah,
for.
like the
BMX bike.
standard where they're measuring it different. You know what I mean?
I only know one way to measure a bike, and a 45 is like the smallest usually, right?
I've never seen 45. 48 is the smallest I've ever seen.
Save it for my last stream of hate. Abort. That word. Everyone tells me abort, but I like that everyone keeps commenting. You all still here?
38. I agree with Pudgy.
There's no way. You're missing something there, AJ. 38 centimeter surly straggler? It can't be. I mean, Sean said 43 is the smallest he's seen. AJ says he does because it's at his house. 38 is the width. I'm not making fun of you, AJ. I think there's a miscommunication. That's a tiny, tiny bicycle.
Oh, here's a Trek FX.
Just one more beer.
Is it a kid's bike?
AJ, are you 5 years old? I don't. No, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm curious. Are you that short? Like, are you tiny?
Surly Straggler, 650B frame set, 38 centimeters.
Oh, he said he found it. What's it look? Do they show it a person?
No. A person for scale?
A person for scale. Yeah, a toddler for scale. No, I'm not making fun of your height. That is, they do make it. Dave has it pulled up.
Well, see, that's where, again, that's the top tube measurement.
It's the top tube measurement, not the down. 411. So that's not super. I mean, that's
pretty short.
That's short, but 411. I mean, that's 5 feet, 5'2". 5'2" is pretty normal for a woman, right? So 3 inches shorter than that. Yeah, that's pretty short.
That's still on the short end.
Yeah, that's pretty short. Sorry, I'm buzzed, and I really don't want to be offensive about height. That's stupid. But yeah, I had no idea. Clearly, none of us had any idea.
Yeah, no, but that is.
That's probably one of the few bikes you could buy then, right, AJ? Oh, yeah. Vaquero, who I missed your earlier comment, sorry, said, what crank length? Because you would have to have short cranks or you would be striking those all the time, right?
I mean, everything is in.
No, because it's still the same size wheel, so.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't matter. But you would want shorter cranks with those shorter legs. You wouldn't want to be running 170s on, you know. Yeah, Blackball Chris said, what is normal anyways? That's true. And rides a 42 for the road bike. Interesting. Yeah, because we were talking about this at the meetup about how Terry, those bikes were made by Waterford, and they made small bikes for you know, shorter. In general, Terry was a women's bike brand, smaller bikes, custom at Waterford for shorter women, and she would do smaller wheel sizes so she could still use like really good geometry.
Mm-hmm.
So. 5Dev makes crazy short cranks. Nicole runs those. Oh, yeah. And then, it's the other brand we've talked about a number of times. Appleman makes the really short cranks, too. Because he's like a proponent for even taller people running shorter cranks. And again, I know about him because of Pathless Pedaled and Russ's interview. And they're really cool-looking cranks. We pulled them up a bunch of times. But Vaquero said he runs with some 155s. Rob, you're calling it. I think we all need to call it. Yeah, should we wrap this one up? You got anything over there you need to...
No.
Looking at short bikes now?
Yes.
Looking at little bikes. Little LIL bikes.
Found another truck. 15-inch.
Vaquero said, Matt at Appleman, 6'2", uses 145s. All right, guys. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's have a good night. And Acrorex, I'm sorry. Again, I really mean that. And again, difference of opinions of bikes is nothing personal. I'm sorry that I didn't make it over to say what's up to you at the bike ride. So, crank length enlightened is the thing that I probably know the least about and have paid the least attention to it. I do need to go see my niece when the weather's nice, so I could ride my bike down there. My niece is now at Miami and Oxford, Ryan.
Oh, nice.
Dave just asked about her, actually, yesterday. Yeah. All right, Glenn, good night. Everyone, good night. Oh, yeah, we never did a break. Oh, well. See you. Oh, new video tomorrow. I'll finally get the Otis-Roubaix video out, unless something else happens. Good night.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is not
Fitzwater photo.